G'day my suckies, it's JuzzyQ7 here, bringing you another fabulous Storytime video. I hope you guys are having a fabulous day today and enjoying every minute of it. If you're having a fabulous day, I hope you're getting an awesome back rub by a loved one, whether that be your mum or your girlfriend, or maybe your little brother's just come inside and he's like, "Hey bro, I'm not gonna be a little devil today, I'm gonna give you a back rub. Nothing, no tricks behind it, just an innocent back rub, bro." Apologies for the bad croaky voice, by the way, guys. I decided it would be a good idea to scream along to rock metal on the way back home from work tonight, but that was really not a good idea. I hope you can forgive me, for I have sinned. Anyway, today I'm going to be talking about my 12th birthday party, because damn, this 12th birthday party was an eventful one. After recording the audio, I've decided it's not that eventful, but I'm going to still talk about it anyway. Now, as a kid, I managed to convince my mum, "Hey mum, can I have like 28 people around just for a sleepover?" That's right, we had 28 12-year-olds coming over for a sleepover. That does not sound like a bad idea at all, doesn't it? So obviously we got up to many shenanigans that night. I can't remember all of them, but it was a pretty crazy night, and yeah, I'll get into it. So before my 12th birthday party, there was a little bit of interesting conflict between me at that time. At 12, I was very hormonal and very emotional driven, and I think I'm going to explain that one for another video later on. But it was a pretty fun time, not in terms of what I was doing. What I was doing was very mean. Don't hit people, kids. That's the moral of that story, but I'll talk about that one later. So when it comes to parties, I always like holding massive parties, but my parents are a little bit different with parties. They're like, invite maybe a few people, but I'm always in for like everyone coming around. I'll write a massive list and I'll be like, yeah, let's do that. That did happen one time, and my mum didn't approve of it too well, but anyway, for this one, it was a massive list for a 12-year-old for a sleepover party. So I had like 28 people, I had all my friends, I had 2 classes of kids going. No girls, this was a guys only event, thank you very much. So all the boys were like, yeah bro, let's go to this. So I'd written up maybe like 30 invitations for people to come, and most people came, and it was pretty good, except for like a few of my closest friends. They didn't come, they were busy with other things, and all their parents were like, yo, this is not going to end well. So yeah, so I handed these out, and in general, it was a pretty good handout. I had all my friends there, and it was a good start to something big. So it started on a Saturday, just after I'd finished helping out at my local farm, which I can also tell you about later. But yeah, so I finished helping out, I headed home, I come help set up and like clean up, and we were ready to go. People started rocking up. I remember, just saying hey to them all. And this was also the first time, instead of getting birthday presents, I started getting money instead. By the end of this night, I was $300 richer. For a kid that age, it's like, hell yeah, that's like $300 you don't have to work for. $300 that you could just put into whatever you want. So naturally, I put that money, I think it was all into my PS2 games at the time, because I freaking love PS2. Even though PS3 had really come out and it was pretty prominent, I really just liked playing PS2 games. The games were like $5 each, and they were all like legendary games. I didn't really care about graphics. I'm all for that content, you know what I mean? So when all the boys rocked up, the first thing we decided to do was play a game of capture the flag. So my house, if you can imagine it, was a house plopped in the middle of a lot of like grass. Say if you were from the middle of the house, there was a walk around area that you could go through, like a footpath, maybe 1 meter going around the entire house. It was a fairly large house too. And you could, from that footpath, maybe take 20-30 meters out, and that's to the fence line, to the road as well, just as a perimeter around the house. So it was pretty good for capture the flag. So what the boys and I ended up doing is we cut off the driveway as somewhere not to go, and one side of the house we had one flag, and the other side of the house we had another flag. It was very muddy at the time, so a lot of us were being pretty cautious about what we were doing. But we ended up all being covered in mud anyway. I remember just like trying to protect this ball because that's what our flag was. And we played that for a solid 2 hours until everyone was pretty much done with that. In retrospect, capture the flag was pretty awesome, but like nothing really that interesting happened. We just grabbed balls and we ran through, and then we came through, and everyone was just having a fun old time. After that, I was pretty lame at the time. I really loved Mario Kart. I loved me some Mario driving kart, if you know what I mean. Anyway, so what we did was we had a Mario Kart competition, no items, 1v1, on the hellhole, the hellscape of a map called Rainbow Road. Yeah, that's right. We had kids crying after they lost in that game. That's right, they were in tears after they lost Rainbow Road because of how badly they performed. Me as being an obsessor of Mario Kart though, I actually won my own game, my own party game. I was like, oh well, this is not really that exciting for everyone. Who expected the host to be winning this game? In retrospect, I shouldn't have been involved in it, but it was still fun anyway. I remember just thrashing everyone. That's right, I'm a Mario Kart god. I only used motion controls, guys. One of my mates at the time had also brought in his iPod Touch, and he said he just bought it. And I remember him showing it to me, and it was like $200, and I was like, yo, I have all this money now. Guess what I'm gonna get? So I bought an iPod Touch afterwards, and he showed me Tiny Wings, and that's the one game I obsessed over for that, like, 3 months or so. If you haven't played Tiny Wings, it's an awesome game. If you've got Apple, make sure you give it a go. It's a little retro classic there. I think it was the Flappy Bird before Flappy Bird. It was a little bit difficult, but it was kind of more on the fun side. It's like upgraded Flappy Bird, really. So we'd all tuck it out and all gotten pretty tired, but not really because we're 12-year-olds. So what we had to do was we split up the people who were there. One in my room, which was at the back of the house, on the opposite side of my parents' house, up some stairs. We called that one the loud room. And then if you go down the stairs and on the left down a hallway, and right again past the kitchen, there was a little lounge area, and that was supposed to be the quiet area for sleep. Bit of a spoiler, it wasn't at all. It was not quiet. I'll tell you why in a second. So what happened next is everyone had banded together, and for some reason, we created two teams that we didn't mean to do. And we started raiding the other teams. We started bashing each other with pillows. Just ran into the other group and just smashed them like until they started bleeding. Feathers. Yeah, there was no blood. This was a PG-13 thing. No one got hurt. Everyone just got slapped with pillows. Yeah, there was lots of screaming, lots of shouting, and I remember one time I got called over by my mom, and she was like, Justin, I'm trying to sleep. Everyone needs to go to bed. So we had to give up the fun. Instead of beating the living daylights out of each other, which was way more fun in my opinion. So when we settled down, it was like 1 o'clock for sleep. The quiet room, as I said, it was supposed to be quiet, but didn't end up being quiet. What happened was there was about 7, 8 guys in there, maybe 10, I can't remember. Everyone was trying to sleep, and this one guy, he had a cold. He's a big fella. He was a bit sick that night, and very tired apparently. He fell asleep first, and what happened was he had a very loud snore. Like, it was vibrating the walls loud. Like, everyone was like crying because their ears were bleeding loud. So 2 of my mates came up to me and like, yo bro, we gotta fix this. And I'm like, hey, I agree. We're gonna drag this kid out. So because he was a large kid, we all had to help. There was one in the middle, that was me, 2 on the edges, picking him up and like pulling him outside of the room just to stop that snoring. So when we were picking him up and dragging him, it took a while. My mum heard and she kind of walked in, like she heard the snoring, that is. Like from maybe 50 meters, and she's like, what's going on here? And we'd gotten him halfway out the door and he was still asleep. It was crazy. Then my mum kind of woke him up, and then he was awake for a few seconds and then fell asleep again. So my mum witnessed this and was like, oh, this is crazy. How about you guys move and just, if you can handle it, just stay. So I left the room with a bunch of my friends and we went to another room because our house had a lot of rooms. Then we fell asleep, woke up in the morning, and before I knew it, the time was over and that was it. Nothing more interesting happened. Everyone just felt sad because it was such a good time, but you know, life moves on. You have fun times, you have fun parties, and it's all over at the end. Like this video is over. Thanks to all my new followers, guys. You guys are awesome. It's really cool to see new people on the channel. Thanks for watching my suckies, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.